If you have high blood pressure and you could see the invisible pounding your heart, your brain, and every organ in your body absorbs every day, here's how it would look. Hi, I'm Ken, and there's a reason they call high blood pressure the silent killer. Because even though it's pushing blood faster and faster through every artery, vein, and capillary, pummeling your body day and night, you may not have any clue you have high blood pressure or even feel it until it's too late. It's like you're being slowly beaten to death from the inside out, and you don't even know it until you're down for the count. That's why the American Heart Association calls hypertension the #1 risk factor for deadly or debilitating strokes, and a leading cause of heart attacks, kidney failures, and even blindness. Oh yeah, and while it's at it, high blood pressure can also ruin your sex drive. No wonder it's also the #1 reason people visit their doctor. And I really wish I could say the fix for this was as simple as making an appointment or popping a pill. But the truth is, no prescription will fix the dizziness, headaches, insomnia, digestive problems, nausea, or depressed sex drive that so many people with high blood pressure suffer from every day. Because those are just a few of the side effects from the most commonly prescribed blood pressure medicines, with no guarantee the problem will ever get better or even go away. So for many people, you might say the cure is as bad as the disease. Now, if I'm frightening you a little, good. After all, if every tombstone in this cemetery listed a cause of death, 15 out of every 100 would say high blood pressure, and 3 of those 15 died never knowing they had it until it killed them. But I didn't make this video to tell you to go put your affairs in order or wait for the drug companies to announce a miracle cure. In fact, the good news is, if you've already been diagnosed with hypertension, or if you have a family history and you're worried it's only a matter of time, and if you're scared of waiting even another week to do something about it, or poisoning your body, not to mention wearing out your bank account, on expensive and dangerous prescription drugs, then I'm convinced this short video will change your life forever. Why? Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal a shocking truth about your high blood pressure and your overall health that pharmaceutical companies would do anything to keep you from knowing about. At the same time, I'm going to show you how to stop your high blood pressure in its tracks and reverse the damage it's wreaking on your body for good without a single drug, just by visiting your neighborhood grocery store. Who am I to promise that? My name is Ken Burge, and I'm not a doctor. In fact, until a couple of years ago, I was a walking time bomb for high blood pressure, diabetes, and probably an early grave. Yet my big wake-up call about high blood pressure had nothing to do with me. It all started with my dad, who's 66 and still a pastor in a little town called Monette, Missouri. Now, he and my mom have never even had a family doctor, and the weight had slowly crept up on them. By early last year, my dad weighed 250 pounds, heavy enough for his height and build to qualify as clinically obese. So when my mom read in the paper that a local hospital was doing blood work for people in the community, she insisted they go and get a basic checkup. I'll let my dad tell you what happened next.
And I get in there, and they're looking at me, and they're drawing some blood, and they're weighing me, and they're doing this blood pressure thing. And this lady who was doing the blood pressure thing, she looked at this thing and had a frown on her face and said, well, I'm going to do it again. Let me test it again. She did it a second time. And then she said, listen, I'm going to go call the head nurse. I'll be right back.
They wanted to make sure the first reading wasn't a mistake, so they had my dad sit and relax in a dark room for about 15 minutes. And when the nurse came back and took his blood pressure for a second time,
and she looked at me to say the truth. She pointed her little old finger at me, little blonde-headed nurse, real nice lady. And I mean to tell you, she got serious. And she said, Mr. Burge, you could have a stroke or a heart attack before you left this building. As a matter of fact, in good conscience, I wouldn't want you to leave this building. I'd rather you just check in for a few days, Let us watch this a little bit. But I know you're a man. You're probably not going to go for that. But promise me this. You walk out of this building, go straight to a doctor, and get on blood pressure medicine today.
Now, my dad had already seen me turning my health around. He had seen me go from overweight, diabetic, and pre-hypertensive to lean, fit, and full of energy in a matter of months. And after that scare, he was ready to listen. He had never taken a prescription in his life, and if he had anything to say about it, he wasn't going to start now. But he also knew he was running out of time. He couldn't wait months or even weeks to see a significant drop in his blood pressure. He needed results yesterday, or he was going to have to bite the bullet and take his chances on whatever the pharmacy gave him. Now, I knew he was counting on me, and I knew what I discovered could be the key to bringing his health back from the brink, if only I could do it in time. So I took everything I'd learned, bringing my own blood pressure from a high of 150/92 down to a near textbook 120/79, while getting rid of diabetes and 31 pounds of stubborn fat in the process. And I rapidly distilled it down to a step-by-step plan anyone could easily follow and see an almost immediate improvement in blood pressure, heart health, and general well-being. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what these natural remedies are and why the world's biggest drug companies aren't all over them if they work as well as they have for me and my own family. Well, one weird truth I discovered when I started researching high blood pressure is that until fairly recently it wasn't even considered the deadly epidemic it is today. In fact, doctors didn't even have a name for it until about 100 years ago. I'm not saying it didn't exist at all, but our ancestors don't seem to have struggled with it or feared it like we do now. So I started to question how we could be somehow going downhill in this particular area, despite a century of modern medicine's best discoveries. And what I discovered shocked me. You see, there are just a few factors that actually affect your blood pressure. I call them the 7 levers, because moving even one of them can begin reversing years of damage. And activating all of them at once can be nothing short of a miracle for your heart and your health. These 7 levers are the amount of blood inside your blood vessels, how thin or thick your blood is, the strength of your heart, how fast your heart beats, the flexibility of your blood vessels and arteries, your weight, and finally any blocks that are inside your blood vessels that keep your blood from flowing normally. Now, these 7 levers are different for everybody, and if some of them are stuck in overdrive for you, it's probably not your fault. Anything from genetics to hormones to stress and anxiety can move these levers in ways that shift your blood pressure into the danger zone. The drug companies' cures for high blood pressure aim for these exact 7 targets, and usually they design each drug to pull just one particular lever, like slowing your heartbeat or relaxing your blood vessels. That's why doctors often insist you take multiple blood pressure drugs all at the same time. Of course, again, the trouble is with these drugs, the cure is as bad as the disease. You're asked to suffer in silence with all the side effects of your prescriptions. And the more levers you have out of balance, the more drugs you need, and the worse the side effects get. Yet the truly shocking part is, no matter how many of these 7 levers are causing your high blood pressure right now, there is another way to bring them all back to normal. And this solution has nothing to do with visiting a pharmacy. In fact, the solution is as close as your local grocery store or farmer's market. My dad and I simply call it the blood pressure solution, because it's based on low-cost and side-effect-free natural remedies that finally let you not just treat your high blood pressure, but fix it for good. You don't need to exercise any more than you do right now, or make drastic changes to your diet. No high-priced supplements needed either. All my dad did was follow a handful of simple yet forgotten principles discovered and perfected long before the first blood pressure pill rolled off the drug company's manufacturing lines. Forgotten secrets so powerful, he was quickly able to bring his blood pressure down to normal while dropping over 80 pounds in the process. He swears he has more strength and energy than he's had in years, and now he even has friends coming up to him at the gym asking what his secret is. In fact, here's what he had to say about the blood pressure solution just a few weeks ago.
You know, I ain't no telling, I probably wouldn't be alive. I've told Ken several times, Ken, as I look back in hindsight now, you saved my life. And nurse was right. I'd have had a heart attack or a stroke, and I'd be history now. Instead, I'm a 66-year-old man who just 2 weeks ago re-upped his Y membership, who goes 6 days a week to the Y and makes young men in their 30s look sick. I'm in tremendous conditioning.
Of course, I can't promise the exact results you'll get following the blood pressure solution, but if you're anything like my dad or me, here's what I can promise you. Whether you're currently on blood pressure medication or you're desperately trying to avoid it, you'll experience a renewed energy and vitality that will make your friends and family wonder if you've discovered the fountain of youth. Plus, the kind of rapid shift in your blood pressure numbers that will probably surprise your doctor even more than you. Again, the blood pressure solution is not just a bunch of theory. It's a step-by-step instruction manual containing every secret I've personally used and passed on to my own family and close friends about lowering your blood pressure naturally and safely. How to cure it for good instead of just masking the symptoms with prescription drugs, and how to skyrocket your overall health and energy levels in the process rather than dragging them down with dangerous side effects. Because while dangerous drugs typically hit only 1 or 2 of the 7 levers I told you about, it turns out that you can hit as many of these same levers as you need with surprising all-natural cures. For example, if you take a beta blocker, ACE inhibitor, or ARB drug to relax your blood vessels, has your doctor or pharmacist told you how to use garlic or olive leaves to get the same result without the side effects? If you have high cholesterol that's blocking up your arteries, have you been told how a tablespoon or 2 of an extract made from the ordinary apples can give you relief? Or if you're taking a diuretic drug to remove excess water and bring down your blood volume, did anyone let you know about the delicious fruits that can do the same job at a tiny fraction of the cost? If not, there's a simple explanation. Your ancestors knew all about these cures, even if they didn't understand the exact science behind them. But even the best medical schools don't teach these time-tested secrets to today's doctors, and pharmaceutical companies won't touch them because they can't patent them into high-priced drugs. That's why most people who need these drug-replacing all-natural cures today rarely hear about them. And it's why I knew I had to finally collect and explain each one of these potentially life-saving secrets all in one place inside the blood pressure solution. I've painstakingly collected these forgotten remedies into one easy-to-read report that you can put into action as soon as your next shopping trip. And even though the blood pressure solution could be worth hundreds of dollars or more to you this year alone, if it lets you avoid or safely quit just one expensive prescription, because I want to get this life-changing and possibly even life-saving information into the hands of everyone who needs it, people in the same scary situation my dad found himself in just a year ago. I'm not going to ask you to pay $1,000 or $500 or even $100 for the blood pressure solution today. In fact, the regular price of the blood pressure solution is just $77. That's less than just one bottle of many overpriced and potentially dangerous blood pressure medications, less than just one self-pay visit to the doctor, and a lot less than a visit to the hospital if your high blood pressure continues untreated and unchecked. The most important thing you can do right now is act fast, because with high blood pressure, every single day, heck, every single hour counts. And that's why if you act right now, in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to make your decision even easier. Just click the big orange Add to Cart button now before our 1-hour countdown ends, and you can get instant access to the blood pressure solution for one single payment of $47. Plus, when you take action right now, you're not only getting my blood pressure solution guide, you're also getting 5 special bonuses, including the 99 Foods Report, packed with the absolute best foods for getting the maximum benefits from the natural cures inside the blood pressure solution, all with minimum fuss and minimum cost. My personal blood pressure solution grocery list that takes all the guesswork out of finding these foods anywhere you shop. 21 step-by-step recipes that let you combine these foods to lower your blood pressure while you enjoy delicious meals. How to get the truth from food labels so you can avoid the sneaky but dangerous ingredients food companies try to hide from you. Plus, the simple secret to monitoring your own blood pressure with doctor's office accuracy right in your own home. And of course, you're totally covered by my unconditional money-back guarantee for a full 60 days. Here's how it works. Simply click the Add to Cart button below and download your copy of the blood pressure solution and all the bonuses right now. Dig into the information inside to discover the astonishing secrets no doctor or pharmacist has ever told you about the real reasons you suffer from high blood pressure, and how simple it is to get rid of it for good using common items from your grocery store. And if you aren't blown away by what you learn, or you're anything less than thrilled with your results, simply send me one email anytime in the next 2 months for a prompt and courteous refund. No runarounds, no rigmarole, no questions asked. As you know, my dad's a pastor, and he raised me to do right by people. So I wouldn't even be offering this to you at all if I didn't believe 100% that it will transform your life and your health. And I personally don't believe I deserve a penny of your money unless you truly get amazing results. Once again, all you have to do to get started is click the big orange Add to Cart button right under this video. You'll get instant online access to download the blood pressure solution and be well on your way to permanently lowering your blood pressure, just like my dad did, starting today. Listen, I don't want to pressure you here, but you've got a very simple choice to make. Right now, as you watch the final minutes of this video, you're at a crossroads with your blood pressure that will affect your health, your happiness, and the rest of your life. And when you think about it, you really have just 3 options. Option 1, do nothing. Just let this video end, leave this website behind, and keep on doing what you're doing now. Keep wondering what kind of damage your high blood pressure is wreaking on every organ in your body day after day. Keep paying through the nose for expensive medications and keep suffering needlessly. And frankly, if you're still watching, it shows me that what you're doing right now just isn't working for you. So doing nothing isn't much of an option at all. Option 2 is, take what you learn in this video and try to figure out the natural solutions to high blood pressure for yourself. Now you can try this, but I can tell you from my own experience and from watching the panic my dad went through, knowing that he needed an answer before disaster hit, that it's really not a good idea. When it comes to high blood pressure, time simply is not on your side. Plus, it's far too easy for you to mess up while you're experimenting and use the wrong natural cures that actually end up making the problem worse. And I don't want that for you any more than you do. Then there's option 3, taking action. Skipping the experiments and uncertainty and following the proven step-by-step instructions inside the blood pressure solution 100% risk-free. Remember, when you act now, within the next 60 minutes, you get a full $30 discount off the regular price and get everything for just one payment of $47. And I've got you covered with my no questions asked guarantee for a full 60 days, so the only risk left is missing out. Missing out on the deeply discounted offer right below on this page, and missing out on a crucial day that you could be using to reverse and even cure your high blood pressure for good. I can't wait to get your email telling me how the blood pressure solution worked for you where even expensive prescription drugs had failed before. Thank you so much for your time watching this video, and I hope you'll allow me to help you just like I helped my dad, and just like I've helped my family and friends ever since, by clicking the Add to Cart button right now. I know you'll make the right call, and I'll see you inside.